Hey there, everyone. We are back. Hopefully, you are hearing my voice and seeing my face. Because for all of you that were watching last week, we know how that went, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It was a lot of fun for you guys to listen to as I raved and ranted like a lunatic, yelling at my camera because the damn thing wouldn't work. But that was fun. And of course, we have chat. Thank you, chat. Everybody's showing up today and enjoying talking with each other, building that community. It's great. I love it. I got to start things off right because I think that was one of the things that did not happen last week that caused our issues, right? I did not. Yes. It is that time for the monster ASMR. Oh, thank you, Vijan, for telling me that everything is perfect and looking good. See if I can get the full pour in here. I try to get the right ice to liquid ratio so it all fits in the cup. I got another cup, but it's in the washer, which is way bigger than this one, so I won't have this problem anymore. For Christmas. Christmas was good to me. Hopefully everybody else's Christmas was good to them, or holiday, or whatever you're celebrating. Got to get that in just the right spot and get a tug. Flavor of Monster I got today, I am looking at Ultra Paradise, which is kind of like a green apple, Jolly Rancher kind of thing going on there. Get rid of that. Now I'm feeling good. Now I'm feeling great. Let me look at my chat here. I see a couple of times my name's been mentioned. So, Outlaw 11, good morning. Will you be standing up Discord? Oh, yeah, I did answer that. Love the countdown. It reminds me of NYE. Thank you, Bijan. Yeah, I added a countdown to this to try to help make sure everything goes much more smoothly. And I also added an ending that just, like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. But it gives me time to get off camera, look for the end stream button. Because there was a time. This is, content creation is an interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen. It does weird things, and you have to stay on top of a lot of stuff. Especially when you're a one-man show like this guy right now here on CyberCast IRL. But we are on episode 8 today. We were having a great conversation over in Simply Cyber on the jaw-jacking section. Jerry always has phenomenal content. You gotta definitely check out Simply Cyber, the morning briefing or the daily briefing, and then jaw-jacking on those wonderful days when jaw-jacking happens, where he gets panelists to come on, and I got invited to come on this morning as a panelist, and we had some really good conversation around getting jobs and certifications, and specifically what I kind of thought would be a cool segue was the last question we talked about before I left to come over here to start the stream was about LinkedIn and how do you use it effectively for finding work, because myself, Jerry, Zach Hill, anybody that's out there really trying to help people get work, we typically do tell you to use LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a work business oriented social platform, right? I'm just checking the chat. And it's easy to think that it's X. It's easy to think it's like Facebook. It's easy to think it's like any other social media. And it's really not. And I think that it kind of gets, if you learn how to use it right, it can be very effective. It can be very useful to you as a tool. And it's a really good tool. I have found it to be quite useful. I've learned you can kind of teach it. These are the things that I want to see. I use it as kind of a threat feed, a news feed, a community feed. I've taught it, these are the things that I want to learn or see in my feed by liking, commenting, interacting with the stuff that I find useful for me and what I am interested in. So that's step one. If you're going to jump into LinkedIn, is get it to show you the things you want to see, because it's not going to know what you're into out of the box, right? You got to kind of teach it just like any other social media. So in that way, it is a lot like every other social media out there. Yes, Glenn says, It's social media for the adult professional. Well said, sir. Yes. Well said. That's exactly what it's for. It is for and one of the things that really drew me to it was I wasn't getting political rants. I wasn't getting stupid memes. Not that I don't enjoy political rants and stupid memes. It's just when I want to read about business stuff and interact with cybersecurity, I don't care about people's politics. I don't care about people's, that kind of stuff. It doesn't, other than, like changing of administrations and things of that nature and how that affects cyber. That's all I really care about when I'm talking about what I'm interested in as far as cybersecurity goes. I don't care in that vein who's in office or what thing is blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Show me the cyber stuff. What are we doing with cyber? How is that affecting cyber? Good, bad, indifferent, don't care. That's what I just want to know. I'm all about the facts, right? We were talking about Gen Z stuff. No printers, just facts, right? And that's what I wanted. So if you're new to the channel, if you have a question for me, this is kind of an AMA style, but I definitely want the chat to be more conversational. So chat's more than welcome to answer questions. Please do as you do. But if you want to ask me a specific question, make sure you @ my name and you get that little pop up and you click that. And so that because it shows up, it highlights my name in red in your question, and I can see it really easily in the chat room. Because as the chat scrolls by, it can be very difficult to, if you just put Q or something like that. Sometimes I see that, sometimes I don't. Your best bet is to @ my name and then ask your question, or just put my name in there somewhere with the @ symbol so that pops up in red. And then, yeah. So going back to LinkedIn, just making sure that it was a little public service announcement right there for new viewers. Going back to LinkedIn, the person that asked the question in the job jacking section was like, should I reach out to people in an organization that I'm looking to get work at? And it was a great question. I thought that was just such a great question. And it highlights how people can perceive how to use LinkedIn, which is when I need a job, I go to LinkedIn. And I get on there and I put all the, I go to my profile and I use a picture that I took with my iPhone 4. And there's my profile picture of me, looking hard in front of my of what, you know what I mean? It's like, this isn't Facebook, kids. This isn't X. This isn't Blue Sky or any of the other whatevers that are out there. That's not what this is. It's business professional. So let's start there. Now that we understand, okay, let's train the algorithm so that it knows what I want to see and gives me that information. So I'm really into, as you can see, red team stuff. So it shows me a lot of, C2s and people that are working or have doing a demonstration of like AV, EDR bypass techniques, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm super interested in. So that's mostly what I see. Tools that are new and that kind of thing. So that I get my feed going, and now it's, let's take a look at my profile, right? Again, business professional. That's what you are. Get that profile looking good. Nice headshot. Everybody's phone nowadays takes a decent picture. So don't grab something. I get it. You're really into geode collecting or whatever the case is, but that's not what this is about. So don't make it you at the geode convention of 2020 where you're all mad. You know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Make that picture, make you look super pro, and just do the best you can on getting that. If you can't have a headshot taken, I think there's even AI now that will do headshots for you. It's crazy, right? AI. This is what we use AI for. It's a tool. Get a good headshot. Get into that about page, and really, this is key. Show your personality. It's great that you got 1 million certs. It's great that you got all this experience. We're going to get to that. But that's not what About Me is about. About Me sections are about you. If I'd never heard of you before and I went to your LinkedIn page to see, is this an applicant that I think that I would be interested in having as a part of our organization? And I saw your About page and it was enthusiastic about cybersecurity, top 10% try hack me, hack the box, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a list of your creds. It's kind of boring. It doesn't tell me anything about you that's different from the other 200 applicants that I've got sitting in a stack, right? So this is a place where you get to sell yourself, right? You get to show how cool and great you would be for an organization. And maybe you're not the right fit for them, but maybe you are. And that's cool. You just be you. You just kind of put you out there and say, this is the kind of person I am. This is what I am professionally about. And that's the one spot where you kind of get to talk about, I'm oddly into geodes. I really have a passion for them. I know that's not really a business thing, but, it's one of my things. It kind of does tell you a bit about me, because that's what the About Me section is about. Right. So it's simple. Let me jump to the chat real quick. I see some of my names going by a couple times, and we'll get back to what we're going to do with that LinkedIn. All right, so Jerry's asking me about Denver Wild West Hackin' Fest. Mile High Hackin' Fest. It's going to be fun. I will be there. I think I will be emceeing a bit and maybe helping out with booths. Definitely set up and tear down, that kind of thing. But that's all pre-show, post-show stuff. But I think I'll be emceeing one of the tracks. So introducing the speakers, segueing from one thing to another. I think that's what they've got me doing. So, but I will definitely be there. Let's see here. I see Rick Shivers says you can take advantage of getting a headshot with a pro photographer at a con if it is offered. Great point. Thank you, Rich, for offering that information. You're absolutely right. A lot of cons really focus on helping you build your resume, doing interviews, like mock interviews to help you prepare, knock some of those jitters off about going and speaking with someone you don't know about a job you're really passionate about. And I get it. That can be a little unnerving. So those things are really good. And then getting headshots done is another thing a lot of conventions will have as well. Wayne's World tells me that Amish Runaway asks if a red teamer could be GRC. Yeah, and vice versa. Like if you have red team skills and you want to segue into GRC, obviously those skills that you have as a red teamer are going to translate into, well, if I were an attacker, and I had physical access to your building, or if I was auditing this and I was auditing that and I was seeing where your security is not compliant, you can take those red team skills that you have and help to flesh it out, the information. Why this is so dangerous is because an attacker could be doing X, Y, and Z. And I know that because I used to do it as a red teamer, that kind of thing, right? So if you want to segue into GRC, red team's only going to help you. Blue team's only going to help you. Any cybersecurity background that you have. And if you're GRC and you're like, you know what, red team's the life for me, vice versa. I know what government's risk and compliance is looking for in their checkbox sections, and I know what they're not, right? Because that was my business. I always like to think of, is it PCI DSS, I think, where they say, do a vulnerability scan. Well, guess what? Nmap has vulnerability scan capabilities. Is that sufficient? A lot of times, I don't know, maybe it's been updated since the last time I read it. If I run an Nmap scan, is that a sufficient vulnerability scan? I can check my GRC box. If you know that is the case, then when you are pen testing or red teaming a PCI DSS specific engagement, you go, maybe they only, ran OpenVAS and never did anything with it. They just were compliant because, as we all know, right? Compliance is security. It's just kind of, it's a guide. It's to help you know where the weak spots are and what you should be kind of focusing on. So yes, the short answer, yes, red team, you can totally move over. Carrie Chasen says, what did the gingerbread man say to the unhappy fruitcake? What's eating you? Good dad jokes. They are fun. Am I missing anything else? Let's see here. The haircut fish. What's up, Dan? What about a picture of yourself wearing a cowboy hat, pointing at the camera, looking hyped? That is the only acceptable picture for your your LinkedIn profile. I demand it, actually. No. So don't do that. That's a joke, but it's a funny one, and I love it because Dan's funny as hell, and that's a lot of fun. You were welcome, Amish Runaway. Glad that we can help you out. That's what this is all about. I just want to talk cybersecurity. Listen, you guys are just as much experts as I am on this, and we all have information. Everybody's got something in them that is helpful to the community at large. You guys help me a lot because you'll say things and I'm like, oh, I didn't hear about that. Right? That's awesome. And that's what CyberCast IRL is all about. So please engage each other as much as I'm sitting here. I'm just the talking head, right? That's going to riff and kind of bring up these things and use my experience to kind of help what's going on in the chat. I'm just trying to facilitate conversation between all of us in the community. Okay? So, all right, cool. I don't see any more. I use Nmap when I fly through cyberspace, as one does. Let's see here. So let's get back to talking about LinkedIn a little bit. So once you get that about page or the about section really worked up, work on that banner, right? You want it to look professional. Canva is an easy tool to use. Come up with really quality, professional looking graphics. So for your banner, that is definitely something you want to do. Go there. And that's cool. Do it your way if you want, or you can go to something, but get a professional looking banner. I'm actually thinking about revamping mine. Mine looks a little dated at this point in time. So it might be about that time for me to do something about that. Move on, update, go with the flow, and continue to show that I'm interested in being contemporary, right? Let's see here. Just kind of looking at the chat, seeing what's going on in there. I hate that I miss a lot of you guys' conversation. I always have to go back and read after the stream is over all the stuff that I missed because you guys have such good stuff going on here. I do see someone's got a Q for a question. I guess that's just for anyone in general. If you do want to get a question to me specifically, make sure that I see it. You got to make sure to @ me when you ask your question so that it shows up in red, and I'll see that. So the question comes from Midori K. I hope I did that well. Midori K. Best seam for home lab beginners. That's a great question. There's a lot of them out there. I've messed around with like Alien Vault and OSSIM. I guess are they the same thing? It's been a while since I've stood up a seam, but there's plenty of elk. Honestly, there is no best per se. I think there's just what's best for you. That's kind of a subjective question. My advice, chat, you guys chime in, give them some more suggestions. My advice is grab 4 or 5 of them, download them, build a virtual machine, mess around with it, install it. If you need to, put it on hardware and run it for a week or 2 and see how it goes. In the business world, when you're actually working in those roles, you're going to have a lot of vendors coming to you saying, hey, we got a great solution for you. And it might be about that time to take a look and see, do we like the solution that we're currently using? And maybe we should test drive a few other things. And you will be doing that as a part of the job. So this is a great way to get some real hands-on experience, is to say, I test drove not just one SIEM or SIM or however you like to say it. Do you guys say SIEM or SIM? I say SIEM because IE tends to be like in believe, right? IEVE, right? So I tend to think of it that way, but a lot of people pronounce it as SIM. I don't think it's wrong either way or the other. It's just, I do find that an interesting question. But if you test drive a bunch of them, you can say, I have hands-on experience with elk, with OSSIM, right? It's never a bad thing. And then you get to find out which one is like, oh, this one really resonates with me. I like this one. I'm going to make this one kind of like my go-to. And then when you learn all the guts and the bells and the whistles and everything that it can do, then you all the other ones do the same thing. You just got to figure out how they do that. And so it's an easy transition then from one SIEM or SIM to the other. So find the one that you like the best and by test driving, and then really do a deep dive, reading documentation, making yourself labs. All right, let's see here. What did I miss? Anything else? I see a lot. Joseph says he likes elk because it comes in a Docker container. Gotta love Docker, right? Just spin up a container, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Docker run, right? Or do, well, those little files that you can do. I guess the name is escaping me. YAML. Let's see here. Glenn Sibley. Yeah, someone else that would also know. Are there great services to have someone build up a LinkedIn profile? Mine looks like me, a crazy busy old man who doesn't have time to make it look nice. I don't know if there's a service. I can only assume that there are. Maybe that's a business model I need to look into, because I have found some success using LinkedIn. And I think I've got a pretty good beat on how that thing works. But ultimately, if you get a good headshot, right? Going back to that conversation, good headshot, nice looking, professional looking banner, and your about me is really squared away, and make sure that it is pointing anybody that's looking at it to all your others, like useful information. Do you have a blog? Make sure that link is there. Do you have a YouTube channel? If you do, make sure that link is there. Do you have a GitHub repo? A GitHub. You should, and if you don't, go get one right now, and then put that link in there. And if you're on X, if you're on whatever, put that stuff there so they can go, wow, this person is super, not just try hack me this, try me. And of course, then you got all your badging stuff. Make sure that if you are getting badges and you're proud of them, add those things, and you're filling this thing out. Now that we haven't even really cracked the surface. This is just the bare bones of what you should be doing in LinkedIn to make it useful for you. The real work comes in engagement, right? You engaging with the communities that you're interested in, and those, and then making engaging posts that people that are interested in the same thing you are would want to be engaged in. And sometimes you're going to hit some good stuff, and sometimes you're going to get crickets. But it doesn't matter. Your guiding star is, I just want to help you. I'm not looking for clicks. I'm not looking for views. I'm not looking for impressions per se. If they come, great. If they don't, that's fine. That's unfortunate, not because I don't get a bigger profile, but because I think this is a really helpful thing that I wished more people would have been able to see and they didn't, right? That's the mindset. It's all about the mindset, right? I was talking to the person on Jawjacking earlier about reaching out for the purposes of trying to get in with them to get a job, right? That comes off as try hard. It comes off as desperate. And that is not what you want. You want to be someone that's just doing it. That is a part of that. That is, and then you're not, like, if you see a job that you really like, your first connection with that organization is not, I'd like a job. Your first is like, hey, love what you guys do. Think you guys have a great thing going on. I would love to learn more about what you're doing and how you're doing it. Could you point me to some resources? Are there other people that you could tell me that I should follow? Right? And if you never need anything from me, please feel free to reach out. I've had people that have said that to me, and we have like online, it's how you start building a relationship with someone. This is networking. This is how you use the platform, right? So your posts are meant to engage someone in a way that helps them, right? And it's good for you because you're learning, you're showing other people the resources that you're using. And that because you didn't just one day turn on your computer and it popped up and said, here's a cool resource for cybersecurity. And went, oh, that sounds interesting. Well, maybe if you got like a cool RSS feed that happened. But you get the idea that you are out there looking for those nuggets of gold and mining them. And then you just shared them with everyone else, right? That is not desperate. That is someone that is cool. And I might want to have them on my team. If that's the level, if you don't even have a job doing what you want to do and you're still doing that level of engagement with the community, that speaks a lot of your character and things of that nature, right? And at the end of the day, it's a lot of getting work and stuff is talking to people, is being an engaging person, someone they would want to have on their team. They can teach you skills. They're looking for good team members, okay? All right. Let's see what's going on in chat, and then maybe we'll round up the whole LinkedIn conversation. It's about half of our show so far. Let's see here. Just to look relevant on LinkedIn. All right. What is the question about looking relevant on LinkedIn? Oh, it's yeah. I got you. I got you there, Wayne. Thank you, sir. Wayne, if you don't know, Wayne's real world is kind of like grabbing things that I did not necessarily catch. He is my dude in the chat helping me out. So if I'm missing your question, hit Wayne, and Wayne will make sure that I get to see it. Let's see. I remember building out Waza. Oh yeah, Waza, great stuff. Help desk at my job. I had no clue setting all the elk stuff up. Great stuff. Elk, when you have to figure out what to do with the antlers. Carrie, you are the king of the puns. I will say it. Let's see here. Terrence Tech says, are there any official SIEM training courses? Maybe. I don't know. A lot of times, a lot of organizations like to sell that kind of stuff. If not, then you just got to go to like Udemy and things of that nature. I've always felt like that is a sorely lacking area, is vendor specific training. And I've always thought, you know what Daniel should do? Daniel should make some like Udemy courses or something, or start a Patreon where, you know, if you're paying $5 a month or whatever, you get access to a course library that has tools and vendor tools, that kind of stuff, where I've done the deep dive for you and I give you training on that. And, you know, I'm decent at training. So at least I think I am. I could be wrong. You guys would be like, yeah, Daniel, your training's total garbage, brother. Let's see here. So I don't know. You'll off the top of my head, I don't know. Let's see here. Steve Young at DJB got dropped to defend my change request to update to Palo Altos. Thanks. Okay. And then Waynesville asking about training on SIEMs. Okay, yeah, we got that one. Cool. Bearded Ruckus. What do you do to maintain the glorious beard? I need to make sure mine ages well. I'm so glad you think it's glorious. I don't do anything. It just grows. The dang thing, I can't stop it. I go a week and it looks like I'm indigent. I have to constantly maintain it as far as like trimming it, because I'll get all these wild, the camera's probably not, it's probably making it look better than it is. If you were up close and personal, you'd be like, Daniel, you know, I think you got a rat in there somewhere, got a nest going on. That thing is crazy. But yeah, I literally do nothing to my beard. I had a comb around here somewhere. Oh yeah, little brush. Just brush it. Give it a little brushy brush. There we go. Let's see here. So, now that we don't have any pressing questions, I'm glad to see that. Let's go back to LinkedIn, all right? Let's finish up that conversation. So you've got your headshot. Looking good. Your About Me really shows your personality. Your links to all the stuff that you are doing is on your LinkedIn page. All your badges are up to date and looking good. Certs are there. And then you're engaging with posts. Like you're commenting, you're liking, you're talking with people through their posts, right? Like maybe the first time you contact someone from an organization that you find appealing is look for those people that work there and look for their posts and then go comment on their posts. Don't send them a direct message right away. Just start commenting on their posts like this. Now, don't go crazy and start spamming, like look through every single post that they have. Find one that you really like resonate with. And then this was really, and not just great post, dude. You know, no, wrong, right? Like, nice post. Wrong. Act like you're trying to actually talk to someone. Thank you for such a great post. I did not know this existed. This is such a great resource. I'm going to go check that out. I've always been interested in blah, 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 blah. You kind of add put some meat on the bone, right? Yes, it takes you more than 2 seconds to do that, but this is called investing in yourself by building those relationships. And you do that through conversation. You do that through engaging with them with something more than like, celebrate, support. Not that you shouldn't do that. You should, but you got to do more. Comment with them. If they comment back and there's something that you can latch on and keep the conversation going, do that. Then, if you did have a good little conversation comment thread going on, send them a direct message. Hey, really enjoyed the conversation with you. Would love to connect. This is not rocket science, people. Like I said, LinkedIn is not a G. It gets this bad rap like, oh, I've been on LinkedIn and it's not doing anything for me. Not that everybody says that, but I have definitely heard that, especially here recently. So make sure that, I told Jerry, it's a garden. You got to tend it. You got to water it. You got to look and see, is there any dead branches? Pull them off, throw them away, right? That you're throwing food. It has to be worked. And then not just because I need a job today. You're starting to work on your LinkedIn today for the job you want 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, whenever that case is. Not, I want to get a job interview this week. I see they got a job opening, right? Unless you've already been doing this stuff, expect to have not as great. Now, are there exceptions to every rule? Edge cases? Absolutely. I turned on LinkedIn for the first time and signed up and got a job in a week. Cool. I'm so glad that happened. But for every one of those people that exist, I can show you 100,000 others that is not the case. Okay? So. Good. I just looked up, saw Eric Taylor comment does not equal don't start a rage war, right? You're not there to do crazy hot takes and get into fights with people. If you disagree with them, just move on, right? Just move on. That's all there is to it. All right, I'm going to back up, take a look at the chat. I saw my name a couple of times. And again, if you want my attention, make sure you at my name. Should training, so White Hat Sheepdog asks, should training just be labs mostly? So as someone who has been a trainer for 10 plus years, the short answer is yes. Training should be labs mostly because that's where you get the most information. That's where you get experience. But that doesn't mean it's labs only. Okay? Labs mostly. So we're talking 60 to 80%. And the rest is the instructor, the resource, the person that is facilitating and helping make sense of all the things that you don't know what you don't know kind of stuff. That's my job as a trainer, is to go, hey, you see that button right there? It says don't push. Don't push it, right? That's a bad trainer if they just stop there. The good trainer goes, and the reason why you don't push it is because that is for self-destruct mode, right? Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why even have a don't push button if the only thing that it does is blow everything up? Well, there are some rare cases when you need to set fire to this machine. And through my experience and knowledge and skill, I explain it to you on why you don't push the don't push button, right? Other than that, you're clicking buttons and I am explaining while you're doing the button clicks and the toggle switches and the dial turning, why you do those things. I'm giving you a story. Oh man, I remember one time I pushed that don't push button on accident. That was a mistake. Yeah, that's how I know for sure, unless you really mean it, you don't push the don't push button, right? So that's what a good trainer does. That's their job. That's why I really like online training. Not that there's not a place for like in-person training, but online training to me is the apex. Like you get to watch it. Everything's at your own pace. You get to stop, rewind, slow down, speed up. Say that again, Daniel. Back 10 seconds. Okay, okay, you did that. Back it up. Right? You get to take your time and really understand what's going on. So that's the best. And then the in-person kind of training is great because you can interact with the trainer, right? That's the big draw to in-person training, but time is super limited, right? Plus it tends to be expensive. Whereas online training tends to not be as expensive as that stuff, and you get all the benefits of it. And then like boot camps they can be really good, like for someone who kind of knows things, or like I'm just willing to spend the money to get my feet wet. I know I'm going to miss a ton of this, but right, you gotta start to understand every one of these different types of trainings are tools, and you got to use them as they're meant to be used, and not think if anybody's selling you a boot camp, like I'm going to give you a boot camp and you're going to go make a 6-figure salary on my boot camp alone. That's called a lie. Again, edge cases, generally that's called a lie. That's, or also known as marketing. So just be aware, learn what it is that a boot camp can do for you and why it would be worth it or not worth it. Read the reviews. You have to do your due diligence as a student. Come to things like this and ask, has anybody taken this type of boot camp, or this specific boot camp, or this specific in-person training, or this, because you got like New Horizons and things of that nature out there that do in-classroom training. Is that good? What was your experience? It depends on the instructor. It depends on this. It depends on so you get that information. Be an informed consumer, right? And get the most for your money. So there's that. So labs mostly, yes. I am a huge proponent of doing a lot of lab hands-on stuff in my training. So if you watch my training, we do as much hands-on as I possibly can. There's a lot of theoretical things you just have to learn depending on the certification or the skill you're trying to pick up. But that's what really kind of pushed me into doing cybersecurity, was there was a lot of hands-on. Cloud's kind of the same way as well. So, because you can just play with it. It's a lot of fun. Should training be, okay, Wayne was just kind of making sure I saw that one. Wayne's got me another one. Or he says that he likes a mix, but we'll see what I say. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Loving the chat that's going on here, guys. Really enjoying it. Okay, let's see here. I think that, what's up, Dakota? Dakota just joined the chat room a few minutes ago. I'm glad to see him. We're going to have a pretty good conversation in not too long. I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag there, Dakota. I'm really looking forward to that. We had like a pre-talk the other day about me coming on his show, and it was very engaging for both of us. So I really look forward to it. Marketing always takes the crap end of the stick. Jerry. They do. It's funny. I'm now technically a marketer with Anti-Siphon. I work on the marketing team, but I'm also doing training and stuff for them. Marketing, to me, the reason they get a bad name, they get a bad rap, is because their job is to get people in the funnel. You're not familiar with the funnel. The funnel is like, the more names we can get and pick up that have never heard of us before, the more likely it is that we can convert them into a paid person, right? That's how marketing works. Not all marketing, but that's the basic idea, is that you want to take people that don't know who you are, teach them who you are, get them interested in the platform, and convert them into a paid whatever, a consumer of some kind. A lot of times you do that with business. I'm giving you guys the secrets, the behind the scenes, right? That's what's up. I've seen really good marketing. Really good marketing, in my opinion, focuses on the needs of the consumer and is fun and does not go, sign up for our blah, blah, blah. And, it's just pushing a sales pitch on you. And yes, I need to tell you to sign up for things, and this is where it can get really tricky and sticky. So I don't blame them too hard. I like to give them a hard time because I've always had a fun time. A lot of my friends are in marketing and things of that nature, so I always like to give them a hard time about that. And now that I'm a marketer, I get to point the finger in my own direction. I want to have fun with you. I want you to see that what we're doing at Anti-Siphon, what I'm doing personally, what Jerry's doing at Simply Cyber, it's fun and it's useful. Fun first, useful close second, right? And that because you like that and you're learning from it, you go, I see value in this. And then if you feel so inclined, I'm not going to twist anybody's arm. If you feel so inclined, you can help me put food on my kid's table by purchasing a training course, or, do pay what you can and actually paying some money or something like this. How we make money is how I get paid, is by doing that. I feel like I'm getting paid to help you get paid. That's my job, right? Doing something you love. I know I love it. If you love it too, great. Let me help you. Let me show you how you can do this and do the thing you love and get paid to do it, right? At the end of the day, we all got bills, we got mortgages to pay, we got rent to pay, we got groceries to put on in the refrigerator, and there's nothing wrong with making money, right? If that's your sole goal in life, you might want to back up the freeway a little bit, because that can lead you down a bad path. Not everyone, again, in general. There's a lot of people out there. I say a lot. There's some people out there that have a lot of money and they're really grounded. I think of like Keanu Reeves. He seems to be a really cool dude. He's just a dude that happens to have a bunch of money and is a big movie star. That's the take I get from him. Maybe that's not real. I've never met the guy, but that's how I perceive him. And that's great. It makes me want to go watch his movies, which makes him more valuable to that industry. So that's what I want to do for you guys. I just want to be a dude out here on the internet, helping you as much as I possibly can, doing stuff like this, answering questions. Jerry, I know he does the exact same thing. He's super passionate. Zach Hill, super passionate. Dude, if anybody's ever met Zach, his number one thing, and John Strand as well, is helping students, people that are new, getting into the business, supporting them, giving them as much as we can without charging them a dime, so that they can get into this business that they are passionate about, that we're passionate about. So that's, to me, that's good marketing, right? And maybe we suck at marketing, but I'd rather suck at marketing that way than be good at it in the conventional sense. Because a lot of the conventional sense is just beating you over the head with, buy our stuff, buy our stuff, buy our stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe I will buy your stuff, but geez, turn it down a notch, bro. That's you a little strong. If you got a good product, cool. Let me check it out. I get interested in stuff when I see people are having a good time. I go, cool, I want to have a good time. That looks interesting. Let me go check that out. And I go, well, who are these people? What's this organization? Oh, they do cybersecurity. Oh, that's cool. I like cybersecurity. Look at me. I'm learning more about them. Oh, they got like a free login. Okay, let me sign up for that. I want to see what's behind this login thing. And that's cool. That's neat. That's awesome. That's how we go. That's how it works. So that's in my opinion. It's one guy. There we go. All right, let's see here. Let me check this chat room out. Have I missed anything? Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, you guys had some good conversation going on here. All right, so the last one I missed for me, Rick Shivers, meaningful engagement will help you grow. Being a cyber stalker will just make you look weird and desperate. Yep. That is a true story right there, kids. We've got what happened. Sheepdog says, I have been looking at OSINT training, but it seems difficult to navigate. Any suggestions? I want to join Skull Games, Trace Labs, etc. Join them all, right? Go join them all. See which one resonates with you the best. And then they probably all have some sort of like try before you buy kind of thing. So try them all, see what you like, and then go for it. I'm not familiar with Skull Games. I do know Trace Labs. I can't remember whether or not they have like a subscription type service. Most of them do. So you just do that. Like sign up, check it out. If you like it, pull the trigger for a month and utilize it. And then go, you know what? I'm going to jump over to the other and I'm going to pull the trigger on that for a month. Spend the 20 to 40 or whatever dollars it is and check that out. You probably have learned a lot at that point, right? If it's a big kind of like pay a big chunk of money at first. Then you're going to have to do a little more research on whether or not, do a poll on LinkedIn. Hey, for those of you in OSINT, could really use your help. Which out of these platforms do you recommend the most for OSINT training? And see what people check. And go, looks like everybody's really into Trace Labs. Cool. I'm going to go sign up for Trace Labs, right? So use the community to help you. And that's an engaging post. Other people that are looking for OSINT training might see that post as well, right? You got to get your hashtags on there. By the way, in LinkedIn, it doesn't really like more than 5 hashtags. And they can say what they want in their documentation. I can tell you from legit experience, many years of experience. Right now, at one time it was different, but right now, it doesn't really like more than 5 hashtags. But you got to find those right hashtags. Don't worry about whether or not they're huge. Like they got a bunch of people that if it's cybersecurity related, hashtag cybersecurity. If it's OSINT, hashtag OSINT. Hashtag, and then things that are specific to OSINT. Things that are cybersecurity and OSINT are related. So those are 2 good hashtags right there, right? Then you put that on your poll and you fire it off, right? It's engaging. People like engagement. They want to be a part of the solution and learn something maybe. So do that there, Bijan. Let's see here. What else do I got going on here? Man, you guys are having a good conversation. I can't wait to read all this later. Oh, goodness. Kimberly can fix it. Do you have a new training coming up soon? Soon is a relative term. I'm working on some introductory stuff for Anti-Siphon or Black Hills. Both, I guess. Anti-Siphon is the training arm of Black Hills. So I'm working on some of that stuff, some really good introductory stuff, more in the A+, Net+, Security Plus range of things, if not those things specifically. So if you want that training, eventually, once I get done with it, you'll be able to go to Anti-Siphon for it. But that's what I'm working on. And then I'm thinking about other like one-offs that I can do just for the fun of it. Maybe make a couple extra bucks here and there and, take the family out for hibachi. That kind of thing. Like my kids love hibachi. They just can't get enough of it. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, so there you go. My eye just caught this. This is from Anderman. Not cyber related, but is that a 5150 amp in the back? You have a very good eye. It is a 6505 plus, but anybody that knows that amp knows that it is a 5150. So Eddie Van Halen, he did a signature amp with PV in 91, 92, and they called it the 5150. 5150 is the name of a Van Halen album. It is the name of Van Halen Studios that they have at his house, or was at his house. He's passed on now, but they still own that, obviously. So he's 5150. He's the 5150 guy. 5150 is the police code in LA for, I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know it's in LA for a crazy person. There's a crazy person on the loose, and they're a danger to themselves and others. So they have to respond. So that was his kind of little joke that he was this crazy person. And that probably wasn't far from true, knowing Eddie. He left PV in, the early maybe 2000s or so. Yeah. And went to Fender and started EVH branded stuff. And he owns the rights to the name 5150. They had to rebrand this amp that they have, the 5150, which is completely, kind of their main thing. It became a very popular amplifier. And now they can't use the name 5150 because it's owned by Eddie Van Halen. So they changed it to 6505. I forget. I think, could have been like 65 years of PV amplification, and 05 was the year, something to that effect. It was date related, if I'm not wrong, on why they changed it to 6505. But it's the same circuit. It's the exact same thing. There is no difference in those amps in any real sense. Okay? So yes. I'd love to give the long answer, right? That's my thing. Outside of LinkedIn, this is from Glenn. Only downside of LinkedIn. I get sick of all the cold calling crappy salesmen that call from LinkedIn page. I hate cold calling salesmen. I usually block their number. Yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. And what are you going to do? I've talked about this before, but I just don't answer numbers I don't know, because nowadays a lot of times it's phishing or vishing, right? It's vishing. So let's see here. What else did I miss? Thank you and your team for being for the people. You are absolutely welcome. And we always will be. That'll never change. That is a John Strand thing that I love and I'm excited to be a part of, is that is his motive. That's what motivates him, is to make sure that he is always about the students and helping. He's a great dude, and so is Zach. So I like being a part of that team. Thank you. Amish Runaway. Maybe it's more like take this training and that training all year long, 2024. Yeah. It does get a little browbeating, right? Unfortunately, that's just how most people do it. And now you just kind of sift through and see what is good. You know what? We got 2025 coming up. Make this a year that you're going to learn a bunch of stuff. Sit down and go, here are the 10 things I want to learn this year that I'm going to take training for. I'm going to do deep dives in. I'm going to read papers and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to conferences. So on. Put 10. And then 10 is really your stretch goal. Your goal is 5, right? But if you're really aiming for 10, you'll most likely get at least 5, hopefully, right? Depending on how intensive they are. Or just maybe that's a better way of putting it. Have a stretch goal and then have a realistic goal. And aim for the stretch goal and be happy with the realistic goal, right? And make a Notion page and write those suckers down. 2025 cybersecurity goals. And number 1, learn mobile hacking. Bang. Take it, and you put underneath that, maybe it's a mobile training course. I'm going to take that. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Put some kind of things, or just keep like a list of the things you are doing before you say, you know what? I'm going to check that box off. And then number 2, I'm going to learn more about ICS and SCADA. I'm going to go to this conference. I'm going to take this training course. I'm going to get this certification. And make that your checklist. It's really fun to be able to go in there and add some stuff into it. Oh, I'm working on getting this certification, bought this book today. Put a little to-do item of read said book. Check it off. And then took the exam today, passed with a 752. Woohoo! Enter a mile, a win is a win. Awesome. Check. Right? Took this training today, finished it up, was so awesome. Check. Right? Make it sounds cheesy and cliche, but it really is effective to make a simple to-do list of things that you want to do and goals that you set for yourself. Just got to do it. Don't worry about what it looks like. No one knows you're doing it but you. You don't have to tell anybody. Fun fact, right? So you don't have to worry about anybody's judgment or scrutiny. I don't need you judging my life decisions anyway, right? It's not your business. I'm telling you, it's an effective technique for helping you get to where you want to go. It's what about Bob? Baby steps, right? Baby steps to reading this book. Baby steps to taking this certification. Baby steps to having this training underneath my belt. Baby steps to going to this conference. Figure it out. Where there is a will, there is a way. You will figure it out if it is a goal for you. Thank you. Oh, this is Space Tacos. Thank you for not being a gross and disgusting sales marketing person. I really appreciate that, sir. Well, I hope so. Someone's asking more about training. Yeah, I'm hoping to do training like tools and stuff. Maybe a vendor thing, that kind of stuff. Someone was mentioning vendor stuff. Maybe just a short Nmap course, maybe a short course on Metasploit, maybe a short course on, a nuclei or something that, right? Like that kind of stuff where they're easy to digest, but really get you some good info on how the tool works so that you can you're not spending your life on figuring this stuff out, and it's meant to be training and not just random, I used nuclei and here's what I did on a YouTube video, that kind of stuff. That's kind of what's in my mind to do for this year. Let's see here. Glenn said, oh yeah, I saw that one already. Tech Ricky Downs, writing down a goal makes you 42% more likely to crush it. Cool. I like that. Good to have stats, right? No one knows what I'm doing. That's good. Then Phil Stafford says, that's what you think, Amish Runaway. I actually, I was digging through my stuff. I found my old keystroke logger cable over there. I'm like, oh, this could be a fun video. Maybe I'll make a video on the keystroke logger. It'll be fun. White Hat Sheepdog. Since the next stream will be in 2025, what are your New Year's resolutions? I haven't sat down and looked and made them yet. So that'll be a good video or a good conversation for next week, which there will be a CyberCast IRL next week. I'm so glad everything is working. Oh my goodness. Right? Let's see here. Richard Reeves said, thank you for helping earn his Sec Plus. You are absolutely welcome. It was a pleasure for me to be a useful resource for you to help you succeed. You did all the hard work. You passed that exam. Feel proud of yourself. Bask in the glory. And then get your ass back to work and get another cert. Get another skill. Do it again, right? That's how it works. Lather, rinse, repeat. Every time. Have fun, though. Do I have a training course that you are most proudest of? So, yes, I do. But I would not recommend you go and watch them because of the people you have to pay to see it. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll say, I'm just going to YOLO it. I'm not making resolutions. I can never keep them for the reasons outside of my control. It's true. You're going to fail at those. I think I did say that, right? Like some things you're going to fail at. You're going to make goals that you don't complete, that you don't see all the way through to the end, which is why you make more goals than you can actually do. You have a stretch goal and you have some realistic stuff. And then you gotta like, listen, I set goals every year and I fail at most of them, but the ones I don't, it was better than not. Right? So it's all about casting a wide net and trying to gather as much fish as you can when it comes to your goals. So you still have to, not doing them is going to almost guarantee that you get nothing done that you want. Let's see. HackSpaceCon, early bird available. I don't know. I got to talk to Zach and them. They kind of control my con schedule at this point. I definitely will be in some Florida cons, and that is one I really enjoy going to. So I'm going to prioritize getting out to HackSpaceCon. I don't see it being a problem. I just can't say with like, yes, 100% that I will be there as of right now. So I don't want to, set myself up for failure. Let's see here. Rich Shivers again. Yeah, we're not renewing another year subscription with those who will not be mentioned. Yeah, but I did some really good, like some stuff I'm super proud of. And I did this one thing, and now that I'm not with them, I can redo those, right? I don't have any conflict with them. So I did this one called Hands-on Hacking. It was a lot of fun where I took CTFs and we worked our way through CTFs, but I like narrated and explained why the underlying technologies and tools and concepts that were happening through the CTF and how we could look at it and use that to gain red team skills and blue team skills and that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that course. I did an AWS intro to AWS pen testing course. I did an intro to IoT and hardware hacking course. Pen Test Plus and like CEH were probably my greatest accomplishments because they were such big courses that covered a wide variety of things, and they would take me a long time to get them done, but they were, you know, to me, it was some of my best training. I really put my heart and soul into those. Oh man, we are looking at 11 o'clock and we're just having such a good conversation. I hate it to end, but I do have things to do today. I got kids to hang out with and a wife to love on and all that fun stuff, and spend some holiday time with. But I definitely wanted to make sure that just because it was the holidays doesn't mean we can't hang out. Let me check out these questions a little bit more and then we'll call it a day. Before we go, Wayne's Real World Space Tacos asks, how do you celebrate when you succeed? That's a good question. Everybody's different. Everybody rewards themselves in different ways. For me, it's like downtime. Going, I don't have to study. I don't have to do that. That thing is done. And I'm going to relax. I'm going to go play some guitar. And for me, that's me, right? I'm a huge fan of downtime. Just chilling. If I can chill, that is a huge, man, I really enjoy doing that. Let's see here. Element. I agree. A little goal setting is huge for growth. Start small. Had a whiteboard, started putting daily tasks on. It seems silly, but you're absolutely right. Like just writing it down on a whiteboard, doing a Notion. I used to carry these little, do I have one around here? Where's it at? I guess they're out of reach on me. I was moving things around the other day. Those little spiral steno pads that hold your hand. I would write little things down, things I need to do today. And I would cross them off. And I started getting to where I was like, I love seeing these things crossed off. And it gamified my daily tasks. Do something to keep you motivated, to keep you moving, because I'll forget. I'm one of the most forgetful people you will ever meet. And I know that sounds weird, but it is. I'm super forgetful. Thank you, Wayne. White Hat, thank you again. Happy holidays. Right back at everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Glenn has to run, heading on the road to play with the grandkids. Have a great time. Enjoy your downtime. Enjoy your families. Really appreciate everybody that showed up today. I hope it was a good conversation. I think it was. Not just for you guys, but for me as well. So I thank you guys for showing up and helping me, work through my own thoughts and ideas. A lot of this, you think that I've just got it sitting in the corner. I don't. I am literally thinking through it as you ask those questions and coming to new conclusions and putting some polish on old conclusions. This is why we do this. And I'm really glad that everybody got to show up today. I thank you again for watching. And until next time, keep hacking.